Hello and welcome to, sorry, let's get a little technology thing. Hi, and welcome to an exploration of your inner landscape. So this is all work based out of painting the landscape of your soul. Ta-da! And Painting the Landscape of Your Soul is a book that pretty much got downloaded into my lap and got downloaded in a meditation slash shamanic journey. I was kind of in between both. And downloading means that I was sitting there, and in my mind's eye, in my heart space, I saw this big magenta book fall into my lap. And then as it was flipping through, I saw chapters like intuitive painting, shamanic healing, subtle energy healing, all these concepts, all these huge concepts on how to heal the heart so you can be the best, brightest expression of your heart. Not a small task, huh? But it is that book, it is that moment of trusting my heart, of trusting what Spirit gave to me. And allowing that to be the call for my heart, for my life to change. You know, we all have these experiences where we fall in love with someone or something, and you know, we're kind of going down life this way, and all of a sudden you take a sharp left or a sharp right. And it was this book that actually changed the trajectory of my life. And I'm not saying it's all been it's been easy. It's been actually kind of hard at times, but every time I believe that I'm going to walk away, I get so sad because I feel like this work is just so important. And I know that there's a bunch of work out there in different variations on the theme, and that's what makes our world so wonderful, that you get to hear somebody talk about a pretty common spiritual awareness, consciousness, in a way that speaks to you, that speaks right to your heart. So all this work, and every Wednesday right now, is all about talking about concepts that come out of the book, Painting the Landscape of Your Soul. And I know painting, you know, the funny thing about this title is it was a non-negotiable title. Like I kept saying, oh my God, it's a long title. What if people don't like to paint? You know, right? This is my mind, blah, 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 blah. Where my heart was like, boom, this is what has to happen. And this is what you have to do. And this is one of the gifts you get to share with the world. You know this call, whether you are conscious of what this call is, you know in your heart that there is something beautiful and unique that you get to bring to the world. And if that's how you speak with people, if that's how you hold someone's hand, if that's how you greet somebody, or if it's a bigger experience like writing a book or giving a speech or being a motivational speaker, all of those things, they're all amazing. Because each and every one of us has a gift. And that's why we're here on this planet, to share our hearts, share our gift. And the beauty of painting the landscape of your soul is that because the exercises work with intention and intuitive creation and shamanism, they kind of point to your heart. It's an invitation for your heart to open, for the magnificent beauty of who you are to come out in the world. All the exercises in this book, exercises that I offer in online classes and in retreats, are all pointed to you and your heart, so you can be your best, brightest, magnificent self in all its glory, the good, the bad, the grumpy, whatever that is. because the truth is you have to take all of you with you. You can't leave the non-polite parts hiding under the table and only allow them to come out, if you allow them to come out in your own private life. The thing that makes us whole is to bring all of us together, bring all the aspects of ourselves into one united front. So before I go any further, what I like to do is go ahead and light a candle. For me, it's a way to really come into my heart and come out of my chattering mind. So just give me a second. And I like the heart. I like to imagine the flame, it being an aspect of the element of fire, an external aspect of my heart light. So I invite you to use that metaphor if it works for you as well. And I also like to smudge, and smudging could be done with sage or lavender or palo santo or any kind of fragrant incense, or it could be done with sound. And since we're online, I'm not quite so sure you're going to get the sound or the smell part, so I'll clear us with sound. And what clearing or smudging is it does two things. One is it lets your body, mind, spirit know that you're coming into sacred space. But it's also an opportunity to get like a washing off of whatever you don't need to hold on to. And that could be in your body, that could be in your mind, in your heart. It could be kind of this weird feeling that you have floating around you, which would be your auric fields or your energy fields. So close your eyes for a second and just feel wherever your body is touching the earth. And allow the sound to let go of whatever you don't need to hold on to right now. And keep your eyes closed for a moment. And just notice how you feel when you come into your body and into your heart and into sacred space. Beautiful. So over the past few weeks, we've been talking about body, mind, spirit. Last week, we talked a bit about spirit and how in shamanism, spirit can be also a helping spirit and a guardian spirit. And last week, we also did an exercise. And all these recordings are on this Facebook group and on my website. So you can always go back and look at these. So the one that was, I think it was February 27, 28, something like that. We not only talked about spirit, but I invited you to create a healing talisman, a symbol that is a representation, a reminder, a cellular reminder of your energy, of your vibration. And why is that important? It's important to stay filled up. It's important to stay filled up with energy and vitality. And this is the basis for all healing and health, especially in acupuncture theory. As long as you are filled up, nothing can get in, right? People's bad moods, colds, or other wild and woolly things that are floating around out there in the world. And when you are filled up, you're also more present with yourselves. And a really good example is if you're kind of scattered and you have too many things going on, and you're gathering up all your stuff to leave the house for the day and get your car keys, and you're still like, blah, 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 and then all of a sudden, a half hour later, you show up at work and you're like, wow, that was fast. Well, it was fast because you kind of left your body between when you left your house and until you got home. So it's super important to stay in your body, not only to stay filled up, but also to stay in your body so that you are conscious of your environment, conscious of where you're driving, conscious of what you're thinking, where your thoughts are going, all of those kind of things. And what I really like about the painting the landscape of your soul process is it's a body-centered practice. So here's the truth. Whether you draw or paint and with any of these exercises, it can only make your experience deeper, but you can still get great benefit if you just apply all these concepts to life. And why is that important? It's because the concepts of healing all come from my 25 plus years of doing 5-element acupuncture. And 5-element acupuncture is a Taoist-based medicine that assumes, that invites you to walk your Tao, to walk the essence of why you've come into the world. So it's a medicine that is more transformational, more spiritual, if you will, than physically based. I mean, it could address physical things, but where I resonate is where is it that you want, how is it that you want to be the highest aspect of yourself? How do you want to live your life, your Tao, and your destiny? And so that's where I'm coming from. All through the book is this conversation of the ways that you can be transformed, the ways that you can be your best amazing self. So we do that through 5-element acupuncture. And the other thing that I've done for almost 25 plus years is shamanism. And I think the two of them together, I mean, Taoism was definitely a shamanic practice 5,000 years ago. And so these two medicines, these two very important medicines and energy healing have all come together when I talk about these concepts. So you don't need to paint. You can, and the beauty of why you would want to paint is because it gets you out of your mind more and more and more. And when you get out of your mind, your soul gets to express itself more and more. So again, you don't have to paint, but I encourage you to take all these exercises and just go that next step that's deeper. And so last week we talked about creating a talisman, like connecting with a helping spirit or a guardian spirit, and then asking that energy for a talisman, a symbol that fills you up, that every time you see it, you get filled up and you get to radiate. And so these are all part of exercises in the book called Creative Alchemy or Raising Your Vibration. And I just wanted to touch in a little bit about what does it mean to raise your vibration. And there's a 1,000 different theories about this, but let me summarize this in a few minutes for you. When you in the alchemical process, you can start with the whole concept of alchemical healing is that you start with something that's dense, like a rock, or something that's heavy of vibration. And this can apply to thoughts as well. So heavy thoughts as well. And when you change or raise that vibration, when you transform the rock to gold, right? And gold is indestructible, it never changes, it's the one of the purest aspects or purest minerals out there. You change this dense rock into gold. You can apply that to spirit as well, or your thoughts, where you have this thought that is just dragging you down. And by the simple act of inquiry, of looking into your soul, of asking your body, mind, and spirit to paint whatever this heaviness is, to give it voice, transforms it to a higher vibration, transforms it to gold, if you will. And like any healing modality, and I totally believe in miracles. I think miracles can happen like that. What doesn't quite change as much is the mass of our body, of the slower energetic vibration of our body. And that's why we need to go back to stories, to concepts, to limiting beliefs, to things that you want to change. We have to do them over and over again to change our body, mind, spirit, muscle memory. So the miracle happens like that, but you have to keep coming back to have the full alchemical change. And when I tell students a lot, acupuncture students actually, that this is us in perfect health, if you will. And by the time somebody comes in to a healer, in this case, it was coming in for acupuncture or coming into a painting the landscape of your soul class, most of the time we're kind of like this, right? And then you get a acupuncture session, you get a healing session, or you start painting the landscape of your soul or connecting with your soul. Your body starts going, huh, oh, yes, I remember this part of me. And you're in this really wonderful state. And we've all had these experiences where you're kind of like, oh my God, I had the most amazing healing, or I've had the most amazing epiphany, right? We're in line with ourselves, right? And then, we're driving home and somebody cuts us out and we go again, right? And so you come back for a session, you go back to your painting, whatever that is, you come back to the highest vibration of you. And this just takes time. The more you do the work, there's two things that happen. The more you do healing work, the more or less this reaction happens quickly. Like somebody cuts you out, and the first time you may do this, and the second time you may do this, and sometimes you could do with some other hand movements. But ultimately, you're just like, oh, geez, I'm going to stay here, or at least I'm going to stay here, right? So that's one level of healing. The other level of healing is that the more you look inside, the more you look to your inner landscape, as I like to talk about it, the deeper and deeper you go to that one or two or three core stories that make you do this. And so the invitation always is, again, no matter what modality you're doing, is to keep doing it, keep doing the work so you can be your best, brightest self. And best, brightest self doesn't mean delightful and happy and all those things. It means being the full range of who you are, from the contemplative to the ecstatic and everything in between. So last week, when we talked about filling up and engaging with our healing talisman, that's an important thing, because every time you look at that talisman, you raise your vibration. You allow your body, mind, spirit, muscle memory to buzz at a higher frequency. And if you look at color theory, vibration, science, you will see that red is a lower vibration and it goes up to purple, that's a higher vibration, and then it keeps going from there. But what we can take metaphorically from that is that you can go from this base dense place of wherever you are in this moment, not last week or not 10 years ago, but wherever you are in this moment. And then inviting your body, mind, spirit, your meridians, your chakras, your energy fields, everything to come back to this. And so what I like to do is, again, take you through a short shamanic journey where you can meet your guardian spirit. And you're going to ask that guardian spirit, if you haven't asked for your healing talisman, then you can ask for it. If you have your healing talisman, you can go back to this guardian spirit and ask them how you can work with this. Is there a way that you can embody this talisman again? If the way that you can kind of allow your physical vibration to match the energy of this vibration? Does that make sense to you? So basically, you're going to go to a helping spirit, a teacher, often in humanish form, and you're going to say hello. I'm always Miss Manners about this. Ask for a symbol, a healing talisman that can help remind your body, mind, spirit, soul of your essence. And then you'll come back and draw it or paint it, manifest it into this world. Option number one. Or option number two is to go back to that helping spirit and say, thank you very much for this symbol I got. How can I work with it more? You know, and you can work with the symbol every day. So what you need to do is have some colored pencils next to you, or even just a pen and paper. Something to cover your eyes. So it could be a hat, it could be your, what is this, your arm. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to journey, and I'm going to kind of speak out loud a little bit to help get you there. So this is the fast track of journeying. You're going to go and imagine yourself somewhere in nature. So the beauty of intuitive creation and shamanic journeying is that you can be in your body and imagine yourself slightly outside of where you are. So you're going to go out to nature. You're going to imagine yourself out in nature. You're going to imagine yourself walking up through the clouds, flying up through the clouds. And as you pass through the clouds, you're going to ask with the intention of meeting your guardian spirit. And you're going to ask that teacher for a talisman or how to work with your talisman. But I'm going to rattle for you, and I'm going to try to speak this out loud for you as well. So close your eyes. Imagine yourself in a place of nature. Breathe into your body and allow your senses to open up. The shamanic journey is not like a Super 8 movie or a Technicolor movie. It's about an experience that you get information through your senses. So go ahead and see yourself in nature. Allow all your senses to open up. And start repeating to yourself that you want to meet your guardian teacher. You want to go up into the sky, into what shamans call the upper world, to meet your guardian teacher. And see yourself flying, see yourself on a magic carpet, whatever works for you. See yourself going up through the clouds until you end up in a place that looks slightly different or very different. So you've come into the upper world. And then look around, and you're going to see a teacher, your teacher in humanish form, coming towards you. And go ahead and introduce yourself. And notice the very first thing that the teacher does and says to you. Generally, this being has been waiting for some time for you to show up. And again, if you feel stuck, just imagine yourself talking to your guardian teacher. And then go ahead and ask that teacher for a healing talisman, a healing symbol that can help wake up and raise your vibration. And or ask that teacher, how can you work with this talisman? How can you work with this talisman every day to help you be your best, brightest, truest self? And you can go ahead and take mental notes. If you have questions, go ahead and ask questions. And then thank your teacher for the information. Turn around, retrace your steps, come flying right through the clouds, back to your starting place, back to the starting place in nature. And then feel your body on the earth. Feel yourself sitting in the room where you started. Come back into your body. Breathe. And now I invite you to take some time, if you can, to start to free write. So automatically write. Don't censor. Like, I went up to the upper world, I met my teacher, and just start letting everything come out on paper. So that's automatic writing. And then draw your talisman, draw your energy vibration. That's what this talisman is. This is your energy in a drawing. And work with this throughout the week. So thanks so much for checking in today in ways to connect with your inner landscape. I recommend that you go over to my website, which is dominicelebri.com. I have, a whole bunch of different ways that you can engage in healing with creativity. So I hope you have a beautiful day. It's been a real pleasure to be with you today. Mwah. Thank you.